All right, let's bring up our main man, our brother from another mother, joining us on the Boxer and Gerzer guest line, live in Las Vegas. Check him out on Twitter. Check him out on Instagram. Jason Dumas is live and in effect in Las Vegas right now. Surprised he got up so early, knowing Dumas, man. Surprised he's working. He's probably working off of 2 hours of sleep. But Dumas, what's going on, man? Good morning.
Yo, city that never sleeps, man.
I know you didn't sleep much, man. No, seriously, you're going out there to do big work, man. I know you're out there right now. You saw the Niners land, you saw the Chiefs land, but we're just talking about who has more to gain in the Super Bowl, Shanahan or Brock Purdy. And you know, you were there. We it's no secret you're an Eagles fan. And Shasky just brought up Doug Peterson and Nick Foles. Now, the city of Philadelphia, who gets more credit for that Super Bowl? Is it Foles or is it Doug Peterson?
Oh, it's Foles. You know, Foles, like it. Even thinking back on that year and that win, it's just like almost like mind numbing. Foles, like that run he made, the historic run he made, beat Tom Brady and brought Philadelphia its first Super Bowl title. It's like historic. Calling the Philly special, that was his idea. Like, yeah, it's definitely Foles. Foles is like a legend in Philly. Now, Doug Peterson, obviously, he's revered too, but think about it. Doug Peterson was fired like 2 years later. So Foles is always going to get that nod. And, yeah, he's like a folk legend in Philadelphia. And here I would think it's Brock Purdy too. Like Kyle Shanahan, you know, he's a good coach. Win or lose this game, people are still going to think he's a good coach. He still has job security. But if Brock Purdy wins this game, he's a legend. You know, it's his second year. He wasn't supposed to be here. No one knew who he was when they even drafted him. He was just a guy on the roster. He was a roster filler. He was the third string quarterback. Now he is the starting quarterback for a Super Bowl team, and he is one of the reasons why they're here.
You've been around this team for 2 different Super Bowl trips. A lot of the same players. There's a lot of new ones. And obviously the head coach is the same guy and the GM's the same guy. Have you noticed anything different in terms of preparation, in terms of attitude, leading up to this Super Bowl in contrast to the last one?
Yeah, absolutely. They're just more intentional about everything this time around. Even coming into the season, like, so when they went to the Super Bowl in 2019, the next year they came into that season, I kind of think they were a little arrogant. Like they thought they could just show up and get back to the Super Bowl. They called it the revenge tour. It was just, I didn't like the messaging they sent that year after the Super Bowl. This season, you could tell they were very intentional about their goals. They were very hungry. Like, they said they wanted payback on the Eagles. Like, they came out and said that, and they did it. They said they wanted to have home field advantage throughout the NFC playoffs. That was a goal of theirs, and they were intentional about it. They got it. They said they wanted to get to the Super Bowl. They got there. Now, obviously, they have their last goal staring right in front of them, but you could just tell how intentional they are this season and how hungry they are. And even Fred Warner, he had such a good soundbite a couple of days ago when someone asked him what did he learn about that Super Bowl in 2019, and he straight up said, "It's never over." Like that ruined me. Like now, even if it's a preseason game, I don't even get excited until I see zeros on the clock. So you can just tell their demeanor, even when they got off the plane. Like, I didn't see many pearly whites. People weren't really – Kyle Shanahan was the only one cheesing. Everybody else, it looked like they were going to a damn funeral. They got walked right on the bus. The Chiefs, they were kind of walking over to the people and the cameraman and waving. Niners got right off the plane, walked right off to the bus. It's like they're not going to be satisfied until they are carrying that Vince Lombardi trophy.
Wow, Jason Dumas here on the Boxer and Gerzer guest line live in Las Vegas. So you're there. What is the vibe now in Las Vegas? Because we're going to talk about a little bit later how Vegas has become kind of the sports capital of the world. When you think about everything happening out there, whether it's prize fights, March Madness, WNBA, they're going to get a basketball team at some point. We know they're going to get a baseball team. They have the football team. So what is the vibe right now in Las Vegas, day one of Super Bowl week?
It's insane. It was insane even yesterday. I got straight from the airport to the 49ers and Chiefs landing at their little private plane section, and then I went to check in to my hotel. So I checked into my hotel. It was probably about pushing 8 o'clock. Line out the door.
Wow.
People everywhere. And that's at Excalibur. And the Luxor is the same way. And then a lot of media is staying at Aria, too. Vegas is always crazy, as both of you guys know. But this is like one of those weeks where you walk down to your lobby and you'll see a celebrity just kind of chilling. Or people are always at the table. It's just nuts. And in fact, I'm interested to see how much work gets done from all my colleagues because there's a lot going on, man.
All right, so I want to touch on the actual main characters of this game. We referenced Purdy already. There are very few athletes in sports that in real time, while they're in the middle of their careers, we feel like we're anointing them as one of the all-time greats. Steph breaking all these three-point records in the middle of his career. Ricky Henderson, shattering stolen base records in the middle of his career. Jerry Rice at 31 years old breaking the touchdown marker. Verlander, Jordan, LeBron getting crowned one of the great players in the middle of his career. I feel like I'm watching one of the greatest players ever in Patrick Mahomes. Is he the main character in this game this weekend in terms of when the Warriors beat LeBron? They beat LeBron. That's what it was. They beat LeBron. If the Niners can beat Mahomes, this is humongous, no?
No, you're absolutely right. Just with my own two eyes, he's probably the best quarterback I've ever seen other than Tom Brady. Now, obviously you're going to need the longevity and for him to actually surpass Brady and even surpass some other guys. He needs the longevity, but at the rate he's going and by the eye test, I personally have never seen anyone better. And let's be honest, the Chiefs have no business really being here. Yeah, I know they have a better defense than usual, but go back to Christmas Day when they lose to the Raiders. That was no one would have thought they would be at the Super Bowl. Now they're there because of Patrick Mahomes, and it's not even like he's popping these eye-popping stats per se. He just makes timely plays this season, at least. He's just making timely plays when he needs to. He keeps his team confident. He's never too high, never too low. And it's just when you got a guy like that under center, everyone on the team, all 53 men, believe they can win. And when you just carry that demeanor with you, it takes you to Super Bowls like they're in right now. And no, you're absolutely right, Shasky. It's the Niners versus Patrick Mahomes. I was talking to people last night, and someone asked me. 3 people asked me. I was with 4 people. They're all 2 of them are Kansas City media, 1 is national media. And they asked me who I thought was going to win, and I said, I think the 49ers are going to win. And they all started laughing at me, straight up laughing at me. They're like, Patrick Mahomes ain't losing. That is the type of confidence that Patrick Mahomes exudes.
Wow.
It wasn't like he ain't losing. They said Patrick Mahomes ain't losing. Now I'm telling them, hey, I think the Niners are due for a good game. They've had 2 stink fests in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. They're just due to come out and click, and that's what I think is going to happen. But definitely be them beating Patrick Mahomes.
Jason Dumas here on the Morning Roast, courtesy of the Boxer Girls and Guest Line live in Las Vegas. We'll probably talk to him again this week. I know he's out there for their whole week. And, of course, he's going to the game and covering the game for KRON 4 Sports. Does a hell of a job doing that. You came just straight from Santa Cruz, straight to the airport, straight to Las Vegas. So very impressive, Jay. But you brought up earlier in this conversation Shanahan and Brock, and you believe Brock Purdy has the most to gain, and I'm with you there. We've been kind of batting back and forth here with who has the most to gain, who has the most to lose. Because if Brock Purdy does lose this game, we already heard some of the dialogue coming after the Green Bay game and the Detroit game. He loses this game. You're around this team. You're around Shanahan. You've been around him for 5 years. Who's to say Brock Purdy's a long-term solution for the 49ers if he loses this game, Jason?
Yeah, man, Shanahan has no loyalty when it comes to his quarterbacks. And that proof is just in the pudding. Even with Brock, we saw the story come out a couple weeks ago that they tried to get Tom Brady to come out of retirement to come play for them. So it's you never know. Brock Purdy has a bad game. The whole narrative all off season is going to be is this the guy that can take them over the top?
Right.
Now, that's just how it is. And if they win, he's going to be the guy who is like the next best thing for sliced bread. And I think that's fair, too, because it's a players' league. Yeah, Kyle Shanahan is a great coach. He's been very successful with the 49ers in his tenure. But at the end of the day, the players have to perform. And if Brock Purdy performs like he is capable of, I mean, dude, it's like a Disney movie script. This guy was not – it was an afterthought. I didn't know who Brock Purdy was when they drafted him. I didn't even know Brock Purdy was on the roster until I had to know. And now all of a sudden this guy is the quarterback on probably the best team in football.
Jason, it is interesting how there's just a lot of revisionist history. People can like the player. No one thought he was going to be this.
Yeah,
and I have no problem saying that I was like clearly way wrong, way off. I went to a lot of those padded and non-padded practices. No one was looking at him. He got very little run.
And it is wild to see people take victory laps about Brock Purdy.
Yeah, a lot of the padding on the back, just in general.
Jason, we still got you?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. Do you get what I'm saying? Sorry, I didn't know if you were talking there. It's just, I don't know. I kind of chuckle where it's like, sometimes, I'm not saying they didn't like him. They did like him, but they got a little lucky, and he's exceeded everyone's expectations. It's okay to admit that out loud. Like I found like last week, whether it was John Lynch, Shanahan, Jed York, they were taking a victory lap, which they should, and I get that. But to think that they had like the foresight from day one, it feels a little revisionist history to me. That's all.
Yeah, when Kyle said that Brock was the best quarterback on the roster 2 years ago, and he knew that right away. Who knows if that's actually true? But I mean, this guy, like, it's just crazy. That's what makes sports so cool. Like, No one could ever see this coming. No one. Like Brock's pathway to being the 49ers starting quarterback was like almost impossible. Yeah. You had Trey Lance, obviously, who was drafted to be the next guy. Trey Lance, of course, has injury problems that gave Jimmy Garoppolo his opportunity back, and Jimmy Garoppolo had an injury. And I remember when Brock Purdy had to come in because of the injuries, I was like, oh, the 49ers are toast. They're not going to win anything. I was like, hey, no, that's unfortunate. This guy comes in and makes every single pass he's asked to do. Seems unflappable. He has this demeanor on him that is just like, and Brock had a soundbite that was very impressive a couple weeks ago where he just basically said, like, dude, I know I'm not Patrick Mahomes. I know I'm not Lamar Jackson. I know I'm not Josh Allen. I don't try to be like them. I don't compare myself to them. I just try to do what I do well to the best of my abilities. And by going that way, I don't put unnecessary pressure on myself. I don't try to compare. I just do what I'm asked to do, and I do what I know I can do to the best of my abilities. And I was like, that's someone who knows who he is. And a lot of people need to have that demeanor because everybody in society is always trying to compare themselves with this person, with that person. Just be yourself and do what you're good at, and things will fall into place. That's what Brock Purdy's doing.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Jason, live in Las Vegas. We'll talk to you again later in the week. I know it's insane out there. I can't believe Vegas has a Super Bowl. We're just talking about that. All the events that's happened in Vegas over the last 10 years. Did you ever envision not only a Super Bowl being in Las Vegas, but a professional sports team being in Las Vegas? Now we got 3 of them, and 2 more are coming at some point in the future.
Dude, it's nuts. About like 4 years ago, I had a job opportunity out in Vegas, and I turned it down because I was just like, I'm in the Bay. I still would turn it down because I enjoy the Bay, but like at the time, I was like, why would I leave San Francisco, 49ers, Warriors, Giants to work in Las Vegas? And my agent at the time told me, she was like, dude, Vegas is going to blow up. I'm telling you. And she was right. 4 years later, they're going to get an NBA team eventually too. Yep. They're going to have all the major sports. Yep. They're going to be the site of major sporting events. This has become an amazing sports market. It's crazy. And like 4 years ago, like I said, I was like, nah, they don't really have pro teams. It's like more of a party town. But now it's a sports town too. It's nuts.
Yeah, we can't wait to see you down there. We'll be down there Saturday night.
You better not be
miss
house
all
hunting down there.
Yeah, we don't need to leave, Jason.
Coming Saturday night, man. Let me start screening my phone calls.
Hey, I may come off the plane straight to a party. Who knows? Who knows Saturday night, man? We might be on a bender all weekend long.
I will not.
Yeah, no, Shasky's going to be in this
My
room
wife
freaked
might
out
be
about
listening.
the Super Bowl. Yeah, no, I'm going home, honey. I'm going straight to the hotel room.
I'm here with the baby.
Hey, shout out to Caitlin, your better half, Jason. Hey, Caitlin, you know Jason Dumas is doing nothing but work. You don't have to worry about him. He sleep by 9 o'clock, unless it's a KRON 4 hit at night. Jay, stay awake out there, buddy.
All right, brother. Appreciate y'all.
Anytime, Jason. Jason Dumas here in the Boxer Gerzer guest line. KRON 4 Sports doing it all, man. Santa Cruz